I just wanted to ask you, what's the update on Naveen ul Hulk, the kind of injury that he went through? Do you think if he would have played today, Naveen, things would have been different?
Of course, he's a depth over specialist. He bowled in the leagues. He bowled for Afghanistan in the past, and he's a very intelligent guy to bowl in the depth overs and in the with the new ball as well. So that was the only difference because Afghanistan was hoping for the World Cup to be Naveen in, and he bowled the depth overs. But
Well, absolutely.
injury can,
Well,
yeah, injury can happen. That is the part of the
uh,
game as well.
Roland Butcher, just jump in here. The role of the fast bowlers is very crucial in today's context. But what do you make up of Jofra Archer? He started off with a bang, then suddenly went for too many runs. I think what is your view about his assessment, his line length, delivery? Because 60% of the deliveries are scoring shots for the batters when they face Jofra Archer. Roland Butcher.
Yeah, I think Joffa at times bowls test match lengths. And really, in T20 cricket, test match lengths are not the way to bowl because it allows people to swing the bat. They can get edges, etc. So, he'll either have to be a little bit fuller or a little bit shorter. I think at the beginning of the innings, he can be a bit shorter. He can bowl a bit more aggressively and bowl more short pitch deliveries. Obviously, at the back end, then it's about getting the ball into the block hole. That's not his main strength of getting the ball consistently into the block hole, bowling Yorkers. But he has an important role to play because, with his early pace, if he pick up a couple of wickets early, he could set the West Indies back significantly.
Well, your English cricket has definitely believed in the slam bang version of it. I think you were not pretty bad at it. You still hold the record of the top 5 fastest half centuries on debut or significant. What's going in England's mind when they come and take on the bat? You played prolifically for the Middlesex for 2 decades, but more importantly, what went wrong that day when you started scoring those flashback kind of runs, and now even your players don't stop playing that slam bang version of cricket?
Well, the difference really back then, when West Indies were power in T20 cricket, they had world-class players that could get into any side in the world. If you think of the Chris Gales, etc., those were exceptional T20 players. Now, if you analyse this current West Indies side, there are very few players who will actually get into a World 11 or any other side in the world at this level. So, that is the difference. Quality players before, not so good players this time. The other thing West Indies are doing now is they're not absolutely certain of the team that they want to play. Right up to a couple of weeks before the World Cup, they were still using matches against Afghanistan to identify remaining players in the team. That is a problem. They've got a fairly good record against England, but I think this particular game, England got a wake-up call in the last game because they could easily have been beaten. I think that would have galvanised them to really get their heads down and want to play good cricket. And the other good thing that England really have now in their armoury, which they didn't have years ago, is that, they can hit as many sixes as anyone else these days. They've got players who can do that. So that makes them a very dangerous side. But I think West Indies will have to think, well, we've had good results against England in the last couple of years, so that should stand us in good stead. But I think England's wake-up call may just be the thing that tips the balance.
Well, Roland, before I let you go and also get Asadullah's view onto this, let me stir up a little controversial question to you. How easy is it for one person to be the coach, selector, chairman of selector, everything put together? You know what I'm talking about, Darren Sammy here. Well, is it fair in today's context? And then I'll move on to Asad for his views.
Well, Sunil, I think it is very unfortunate, and I feel for Darren Sammy because it really is a huge burden to axe. This particular juncture in international cricket, where players are travelling not just around the world with their country, but they're travelling around with their franchises, so they're constantly on the road. I think for one coach to take on the role as the coach for all formats of the game, as well as the owner selector, is a burdensome one. I think Darren Sammy really has been handed an impossible task. He probably believes that he can shoulder that responsibility. I think eventually it will break him because it's just going to be too much for any international coach in this present day of cricket.
Right. In fact, I'll come back to you, Sunil, on this. Let us, in fact, introduce the second segment of this broadcast. Doubts have emerged over opener Abhishek Sharma's availability for India's second match of the 2026 T20 World Cup match against Namibia in New Delhi on February 12th after he missed the team's first training session at the Arun Jaitley Stadium on Tuesday. A report revealed that the batter has been hospitalized due to a stomach infection for the last 2 days. Abhishek had been unwell even before India's tournament opener against the US last Sunday. With his condition worsening after he took the field, the left-hander was dismissed for a duck and did not return for the second innings, with Sanju Samson replacing him as the substitute fielder. He also skipped the post-match handshakes. With that, let's in fact take a look at Abhishek Sharma's stats in T20 because this is an important, everybody will have their eyes on if Abhishek Sharma will join Team India for this next match. So let's look at some of his international T20 stats. He has played 39 matches, 38 innings, 2 hundreds, not outs 2, runs 1297, 8 50s, highest score is 135, average is 36.03, fours is 123 and a strike rate of 194.45 and runs, as we told you, around 1294 and 88 sixes. So this is some of the statistics that we have about Abhishek Sharma. Let's in fact go across to Sunil Yash Kalra. Over to you, sir.
Well, thank you very much. Let me just get Asadullah Khan here. Asad, what do you think of an injury to a prime batter? Because Abhishek Sharma, what is your first impression of Abhishek Sharma when you think of him as a cricketer? Of course, he was not far away from your cricket academy in Sharjah with
Mr. Kalra, if I can interrupt you again, I apologize, but Asadullah might have some connection issues. He is not with us right now. If you can direct your questions to Roland for the time being.
Roland, quick question. What is your assessment of Abhishek Sharma when you look at him as a cricketer, and that too who plays at the fastest rate in the history of T20 cricket? Your views?
Well, listen, with those sort of credentials, obviously a very important part of any makeup. So the team will certainly miss that sort of quality if not available. But at the same time, I think the team has got very good reserves, and that is very important if you're going to win a World Cup. You know, the quality of your entire squad is what it's going to be, because at times you're going to lose key players through loss of form, through injuries, through illness, and you have to replace them. So will be missed, but I'm sure the team will compensate for that. And, we wish him a speedy recovery.
Well, do you think India has a problem of plenty when it comes to the batting, especially at the top 5 of the T20 games? Because you have someone like Sanju Samson, who's waiting in the dugout, who's supposed to be one of the most capable person. Do you think India suffers from a problem of plenty?
Most definitely. I think they're very fortunate to have at this moment in time a lot of very good players who are competing for a few spots. That also creates a lot of pressure on the players who are actually in the team. But that is good pressure. As a coach, I would prefer to have people on the bench that I know are itching to get into the team and just as capable. So, India are very fortunate right now. All they've got to do really is suggest, play good, steady cricket, knowing that they've got a good squad, and things will work out.
Well, absolutely. But when you observe a batter, like, just spend some time on Abhishek Sharma. When you spend some the quality innings that he has, and you've witnessed it, what do you think makes him a special talent? Forget the scores and the fastest strike rate. What makes him so special?
Well, I think just the things that you've mentioned there, because all of those things that you've mentioned creates pressure for the bowlers. And, once the bowler's on the back foot, then they've got problems. He does that well. He creates real pressure for the bowlers to the point where, they're not sure where to bowl, what field to set. And that's playing to his strength. So, he's got that rare quality that he's able to do that. Yep. There are a few players who've got that sort of quality. He's fortunate to have it. And I think India are very, very happy to have him.
Well, if I were to ask you, what are the jitters that a dugout gets when he gets going and suddenly he gets out? I mean, what is the mindset of a dugout and a skipper is? I mean, because he never looks troubled, even if he gets out on the first delivery. Your views?
Well, I think in the India team, I don't think there will be too much of a problem because, they've also got some very good players. So, if he doesn't come off, it just means somebody else has got to step up. They've got the quality within the side for somebody to say, listen, it's my turn now and step up. He's not going to do it all the time. You were hoping that he would, but it's not going to happen. But, if you look right through the squad, there are players who are capable of doing that. The only problem for India is going to be that, they need, at some point in time, their lower order are going to be tested. Most of the time, they don't get to the lower order because the batters get the job done. That can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing, providing the batters keep doing what they're supposed to do. But, there may come a time where the batters fail. Now you're calling upon the lower middle order to do the heavy lifting when they have had limited opportunities before that. So that's the thing they've got to balance.
Well, playing in India, does that give an added advantage to these kids who've just sprung up from the IPL? Considering they have one match in Pakistan as in Colombo when they face Pakistan. Do you think there'll be any mental issues going and playing there, Roland Butcher?
Listen, I mean, playing at home creates pressure, especially if you're expected to do well. There's a huge expectation for India to not just do well at this tournament, but to go on and win it. So playing at home, that's tremendous pressure on the players. They're very fortunate that within that squad, they've got a lot of very experienced players who have absorbed that pressure over a long period, both home and away. So they know what the expectation is and they know how to handle it. And that is important to have that experience within the side. But for a young player, it is huge, huge pressure because he may have done well in the IPL, which is obviously a lesser competition than the World Cup. Now you're playing against the best teams in the world and you have been thrust in a situation where the nation expects you to deliver. So that creates pressure for the young player.
Absolutely. In fact, unfortunately, that's all the time that we have. I thank Roland Butcher, Sunil Yash Kalra and Asadullah Khan for joining us on this special broadcast regarding the T20 World Cup.
This week on the roundtable, we are taking a look at the danger our country faces from the number of Chinese imports that have been literally dumped onto our country. Our economy is at great risk. What can the budget do about it?
The budget is like an iron dome. It protects our factories, it protects Indian capacities, and we need to defend them from the onslaught that the Chinese economy is doing on India. And it has reached huge proportions, so there is a need for an urgent step to be taken by the union budget.
What I feel is not single measure, there can be multiple measures, but the best way to stop Chinese imports is by raising tariffs. History has shown it. We must raise tariffs as per the WTO agreements, and we have the limit of 50.4% average weighted tariff, whereas we are imposing hardly 6%. So there is a huge gap between what is the bound rate and what is the actual effective rate.
I think we should strengthen our industrial policy and see to it that our PLI scheme also is interweaved with quality in a very strengthened manner, so that we are back on the path of having the QCOs into the country to a great extent of sectors and pushing them very hard.
Thank you. This week on the roundtable, we are taking a look at the danger our country faces from the number of Chinese imports that have been literally dumped onto our country. Our economy is at great risk. What can the budget do about it?
The budget is like an iron dome. It protects our factories, it protects Indian capacities, and we need to defend them.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Newsx and I'm Shivani Singh. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister and DMK President M.K. Stalin has drawn a firm line. DMK will win solo and form the government on its own strength. Speaking at an event in Chennai, Stalin declared that a coalition government is not suitable for Tamil Nadu's political structure, while making it clear that the pre-poll alliance with Congress will continue for the 2026 assembly elections. This comes amid a sharp sheet-sharing tussle. Congress leaders including TNCC chief K. Selvapuran Thagai, MPs like Manikam Tagore, Praveen Chakravarti and Karthi Chidambaram have been openly demanding a larger seat share, pushing for around 40 seats, and a formal power-sharing arrangement post the elections, including cabinet berths. Some have argued that Congress helped DMK win key seats in 2021 and even claimed that Rahul Gandhi is open to a coalition model, citing examples from other states. Stalin's blunt rejection is being seen as a direct reality check to those expectations. Let's in fact discuss this further with guests who are joining us on the broadcast. Kalyani Shankar, political commentator and senior journalist, Venkat Narayan, senior journalist, and Shekhar Vijayan, political commentator. Let me in fact start off with Kalyani Shankar. I thank you all for joining us on the broadcast to discuss this. Kalyani Shankar, what do you make of this statement given out by Stalin? He's saying that the alliance will stay, but the DMK is not agreeable to power sharing, and he said that Tamil Nadu's politics does not favor a coalition type of government.
Well, you see, Tamil Nadu has never gone, at least the Dravidian parties did not like power sharing. Even this time, the ADMK chief, Palaniswamy, also has said they will not share power with the BJP. So that is the idea of them. Then even if they get a little less number of seats, they will form the government solo. It has been happening since the unauthorized time in the 60s. They've never had any coalition parties governing the state. So I'm not surprised at Stalin saying this. And even a month ago also he said the same thing, said that the alliance is intact, but power sharing is no. On the contrary, they had offered a Rajya Sabha seat, I hear, to compensate this power sharing thing. So whatever it is, that there is no question of them giving any cabinet berth or any seat to the Congress or any other ally.
Absolutely. Let me also rope in Mr. Venkat Narayan, who's with us on the broadcast. Sir, how are you looking at this, going forward? Because this means that DMK, in fact, has put this thought forward that they will put their candidates on 200, over 200 seats. They are aiming to win over 200 seats in an election where there are 234 seats. So how are you looking at this entire alliance that is panning out? Obviously they are not rejecting Congress altogether, but they are saying power sharing is something that we will not be doing.
Well, I have some news which is not so good for the DMK, Congress and other parties alliance. A friend of mine has been conducting surveys for the last 8 months about the public opinion in Tamil Nadu. He is Kakumani Venkat Rao. He heads an organization called Reach Out Analytics. It's based in Hyderabad. According to them, after Stalin gave away 3,000 rupees to each woman in Tamil Nadu, their vote percentage went up by 3% and reached 41%, which was the AIADMK combines policy number also. The current position is that the AIADMK BJP plus alliance enjoys the support of 41% of the population, the eligible voters in Tamil Nadu, whereas the DMK and Indian National Congress, they are having only 35% of the popular support, and the TVK support ranges between 17 and 18%. So if this survey, I have reasons to believe that this is accurate, because their earlier predictions of Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka and Bihar have come right. The chances are the AIADMK BJP combine is likely to win the elections, which are likely to be held in April, and because Stalin's term ends on the 7th of May. So this is the news Stalin and his friends and Rahul Gandhi may not be aware of. Through your television channel, I want to reach out to them as well as to the voters in Tamil Nadu and the rest of India.
Right, sir. So, but what do you believe about, and what you observe regarding their entire alliance? Do you think that it will still hold value, even though the DMK has outright refused any kind of, power sharing?
Well, Kalyani is right when she says that the Dravidian parties never shared power for the past half a century. I don't see Stalin. Stalin says he has brotherly relations with Rahul Gandhi. In fact, he has been drumming up support for Rahul Gandhi's prime ministership, but that has not fructified so far. But I don't think that the DMK will share power with Congress party, and even if they give more seats, there has been not so pleasant experience. The Congress party demanded more seats and they lost in many of them. As a result, the number of seats won by the DMK came down considerably in a couple of elections ago. So they will continue with the alliance, but I do not think that the DMK, in the unlikely event of coming to power, will share power with the Congress party or any of its alliance partners.
Right. In fact, Kalyani Shankar ma'am, when we are looking at Stalin's target, he set a target of winning 200 seats. Does that, how are you looking at this entire then Congress role? Because Congress has been stating that in the 2021 elections, they were able to provide to the alliance some major seats. But do you think now the Stalin or DMK is just hanging on to Congress because they want a presence in Delhi?
Well, you see, presence in Delhi is different. Sorry, what Congress wants, it's still living in its past glory. So it is not able to reconcile to the fact that they can get less number of seats in Tamil Nadu. At one point of time, Tamil Nadu, Congress had 20% share. And with the DMK or ADMK, either of them, Congress could go with either of them. But now the share of the Congress has come down very much. I don't know, maybe 8 or 10%. So that way they cannot go on demanding the same higher number of seats and also lose all of them. The last time also they had only 18 they fought 25 and they got only 18 in 2021 elections. So this time also they are asking for 25 and I think DMK is willing to give only about 18 or so. So we'll have to wait until the seat sharing takes place and then it will be Congress. You see, some Congress leaders, local leaders, they are putting pressure on Rahul Gandhi to say that they need power sharing. So that is why Rahul Gandhi also has started telling Stalin about this. But when Rahul Gandhi talked to Kanimuri just about 3-4 weeks ago, then he told her clearly, she told him very clearly that there will be no power sharing. And she had offered one Rajya Sabha seat, that's all. So Congress's dream of power sharing in Tamil Nadu is out of question. And they will have to do with whatever seats that Stalin gives. That's all they can do now because they are not in a commanding position to demand more. I think ultimately they will both realize the ground situation and go ahead.
Right. In fact, Shekhar Vijayan has also joined us on the broadcast. So, when you are looking at this entire situation that is unfolding, Stalin has clearly said Rahul is like a brother to me, but I will not share power. Tamil Nadu has never seen power sharing. That's not suitable for the kind of politics that Tamil Nadu has. And going forward, we will be in alliance, but there is no question of sharing the power.
Yeah, thank you for having me over. I think one of the main reasons behind this is they have seen how Congress has performed in the previous elections. And it goes without saying that, Congress under Rahul Gandhi's leadership has performed miserably. And I'm sure not just Stalin, I'm sure most of the political parties, most of the regional parties know that. They don't want to take a chance, collaborating with Rahul Gandhi on this and ending up with egg on the face in more ways than one. See, DMK's confidence is in us. It also stems from the fact that they have been winning regularly and they don't want to take any chances. Yes, they would have no power sharing with Congress, but the alliance would remain intact. I think this is a formula most of the regional parties are going with because they understand the pulse of South India. They understand the pulse of Chennai. They understand the pulse of what their vote basis and what they want out of it. If they come in with Congress and if they do a partnership, things can really go wrong. And things can get diluted and things can change completely for them. They don't want to take a chance at this juncture. And I think it also goes without saying that the numbers don't lie. If you look at the fact that in the previous elections across North India, Congress has not played a major role. Congress has been failing miserably. And at the end of the day, I think that's what matters. When you want to win, you want to win on your own. I think all these parties, what we talk about, these are all legacy parties. These parties have been winning consistently in the southern part of India. They know the pulse of the country. They understand the pulse of Chennai. They understand the pulse of what people want. And they don't want to change that formula right now.
Absolutely. In fact, let me rope in Mr. Venkat Narayan on this. So, Mr. Vijayan has, brought out a very pertinent point. Do you also observe that the Congress might just be losing regional, relevance? Because we saw that in Maharashtra, Congress was sidelined, in Bengal as well. And over here now, Stalin has this take it or leave it attitude as well towards the Congress. So do you think that its regional relevance is slowly, deteriorating?
I agree with Vijayan absolutely because Congress has been losing very embarrassingly in all the states, and it doesn't have much of a presence in Parliament. Also, in the sense the number of you see, you have to be in charge of the central government. Only then the state regional parties will listen to you. By the way, the Congress party's percentage of vote share in the 2021 assembly elections is a pathetic 4.28% in the Tamil Nadu assembly elections, even though they have won 18 seats. If they won without any alliance with the DMK, I wonder how many seats they will win. And Stalin and the DMK have every right to, refuse to give more seats to the Congress party or share power with them because of the performance of the Congress party during the past, during Rahul Gandhi's leadership, or has been pathetic, not just at the center, in most of the states. And the way he has been, or under his leadership, he has been disrupting the Congress party and the India Alliance, have been disrupting proceedings of Parliament, not just the current session, but since the BJP came to power, it doesn't really cover them with glory. And people in India, they watch television and they know who is what is happening. And I don't think the tactics being adapted by Mr. Rahul Gandhi and his advisors, I don't know if he has any sensible advisors, I'm not so sure, making, mountain of a molehill, like the general's book and all that. What Navarane said in the book does not really go against the government. All that he asked the Prime Minister and the Raksha Mantri was that, well, these Chinese soldiers tanks are coming, what do I do? So they simply told him, do what you think needs to be done. That doesn't mean that they are evading responsibility. I don't know why the government is, not coming and defending their stance. Anyway, it is their business. But as far as the DMK is concerned, Tamil Nadu Assembly elections are concerned, I don't think the Congress party deserves more seats than what the DMK is willing to give them. In any case, they are not likely to win the next assembly elections in April this year, I'm afraid.
All right. In fact, let me also, get in Kalyani Shankar. Ma'am, you were talking about how Congress leaders were expecting some more seats when they are talking about the sharing of seats. But the Congress leadership in the state has also been saying that this process has been delayed by the DMK and there is, there seems to be no resolution in sight. Do you believe that if this, seat sharing, talks, they do not go, as per the Congress's wishes, do you think that the Congress will, go out of the alliance? Will they just, or they might just look at a third party? Because remember the TVK's Vijay had, they had in fact offered to go with the TVK, which was rejected in the end, but we can look at some other alternatives as well for the Congress. Do you think that happening?
What you're saying is true in a way, because a section of the Congress people in Tamil Nadu, they are saying that they can go solo with the TTK. So because of that, see, Vijay is untested, whether he'll get a lot of seats or he may do nothing, only crowds will come and see him. So he's really untested. The first time he will be contesting in the elections. So going with him is also a very great risk. At least DMK is an established party. It has governed the state for quite a few times. So I think for the Congress, it's better to go with the DMK than with the forming a new alliance. So to that extent that I think Rahul is not listening to the local leaders in this respect, and all that he is demanding is that power share, which he also knows it cannot happen. And for the Congress, as Venkataraman had said earlier, it is really in a pathetic sense. But unfortunately for the Congress, in the 2024 elections, it got 99 seats, which is a real bonus for them. So to that extent, that's why they are able to make noise in the parliament also. But the same thing doesn't transfer to Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu is as it was before. 18 may go down to even 5, 6 or 7. I don't think it can get more than that. That's because of the lack of regional leaders and lack of leadership in the Congress at the local level. And because of all these things, it is not able to revive the party.
Right. So just as an extension to that answer, ma'am, if I can ask you, what's the best way forward for the Congress? Should it stay in alliance with the DMK, look for newer alliance partners or lifelines, or should it just completely restructure itself?
May I just say, the best scenario for the Congress is to stick to DMK, come what may. So that is the only way it can at least survive At least the Congress name will be there for even 1 or 2 seats. If it goes with the TTK, it's a risk. You never know. It may be too much or it may be very little. I didn't think Congress is in a position to experiment this kind of alliances.
Right. In fact, let me also rope in Mr. Vijayan on this. Sir, how are you looking at this, new lifeline, wild card, whatever you might call it, the TVK factor? It's the third, triangular contest that is happening. Congress is now in a tussle with the DMK of sorts. They're saying alliance is alive, but a lot of local leaders are in fact stating that they might just want to shift to the TVK.
See, I think the TVK is a lot like Prashant Kishore's party in the Bihar elections. So in the Bihar elections, when Prashant Kishore was somebody who was a political campaigner and who came with a lot of fanfare, but they didn't win anything much. But it was just a testing ground for them. I think in this case also, the actor has not been tested. Yes, the actor can bring in huge crowds, but will people vote for him? It's a different ballgame altogether. We have noticed in the Indian demography, and that's what makes India so special. People vote and think in a very different way. Voting is a different ballgame altogether. And I think the political parties have understood that. Right? I think what's really important here is, each of the parties, be it DMK, be it AIADMK, be it TTK, be it BJP or Congress, they need to know the pulse of the country. They need to know the pulse of what's happening in, say, Tamil Nadu. And I think these parties have understood that very well. Regional parties understand that pretty well. In the case of Vijay, he just started out. And, going by the kind of fanfare he's got, going by the crowd response he's got, he seems very popular, which goes without saying. But like I said, elections is different. Just by going by the number of people who come in, it does not guarantee that he'll win elections, right? But I think it's a great move what he's doing in terms of getting into election mode. And a lot of parties are going to be looking at this and seeing what happens now. So they're going to be watching in each every move. And it's going to be very interesting the way it unfolds in Tamil Nadu.
But Mr. Vijayan, can the TVK become like a lifeline or like something that the Congress can hold on to if they are pushed to the corner by the DMK during these seat sharing talks?
So, I don't think TVK would want to spoil the reputation by going with the Congress, because see, Congress is a sinking ship. And I'm not saying because of what's happened in the past. The fact of the matter is Congress has not done anything of note in Tamil Nadu. They need to know the pulse of the country. They need to know the pulse of the nation. They don't do anything like that. There is no Rath Yatra in place. There is nothing where they have gone and gravitated or reached out to the common man or the common woman. And I wouldn't say the TVK would want to reach out to them, because what do they get out of it? Ultimately, politics, when parties come together, it's a matter of convenience. It's a win-win situation. I think TVK on their own will start winning. They don't need Congress for that. So I think it's important. What are the strengths? What are the areas of opportunity? And how do they move forward? Here, there's going to be no collaboration. There's going to be convergence. But at the end of the day, if you are converging together as parties and you don't get votes, then the whole idea is lost.
Right. In fact, let me also get in Mr. Venkat Narayan's views on this. Sir, how are you looking at this new play of TVK? They didn't want to side with the Congress. That was their initial statement that they gave out. But can they actually come together to give a tough contest to the DMK if things go haywire during these alliance talks?
See, as I said, Congress got only 4.28% of the popular vote in the last election. And Vijay said that if we come to power, I will be the chief minister. And I'm not going to do business with any of the Dravidian parties or any party. If anybody is willing to accept him as chief minister in the event of an alliance led by him coming to power, he could consider. But Congress teaming up with Vijay is not a winning combination. Vijay reminds me of Pawan Kalyan. When he fought elections on his own in Andhra, some years ago, he lost his own seat. But in 2024, when he teamed up with Chandrababu Naidu's Telugu Desam party and the BJP, they swept the polls. So, Vijay may be popular actor on his own, even though he is, my friends' surveys suggest that he is able to have the support of 10 to 15% of the popular vote, but he went to polls on his own. I'm not so sure how successful he will be. If he has to be successful, joining hands with the Congress is not going to help him for the simple reason that the Congress's performance has been pathetic in the past in Tamil Nadu and now in many parts of the country. So it doesn't really benefit Vijay if he joins hands with the Congress party. If he has to do well, he has to join a party which has at least 25% of the popular support. But those are only the DMK and the AIADMK. I don't think that they are willing to take him or he's willing to join them, because they will not accept him. Definitely AIADMK is not going to accept him as the chief ministerial candidate. Even though some of the AIADMK people thrown out by EPD have gone and joined Vijay, but I don't think they bring a lot of votes for him. And as it is, he's planning to contest from 2 assembly constituencies and not 1. That means he himself is not very sure how well he is going to be doing in the next election.
Absolutely. And before we wrap up this bulletin, a last word from everyone regarding what they think about the ground pulse. Let me start off with Kalyani Shankar ma'am. What do you think is the situation right now in Tamil Nadu as it heads towards the polls? Kalyani Shankar, if you can hear. All right. Let me in fact rope in Shekhar Vijayan for his comments first.
So I think the situation is quite interesting because, I think it's a mixed reaction. You have the DMK and AIDMK in equal measure, but I think with Vijay also coming to the fray, things have changed completely, right? There is a lot of fanfare, there's a lot of noise. It's also about anti-incumbency with the Stalin government being in power for such a long time. People are also looking at change. But what is the kind of change they're looking at? What is the development the government has done? Those are the things they look at. I think elections is basically fought on 3 factors. One is infrastructure. One is what has the party done for me? And the third thing is what change can I expect? So I think that's going to be really important.
Right. And Mr. Venkat Narayan, you at the start of this show, you put forward some survey stats. What, as per your understanding, is the pulse of the state which is going into the polls?
It seems to me that at this point of time, AIADMK alliance is ahead. They are somewhere around 41%, and after Stalin gave away 3,000 rupees to each woman voter in January on the occasion of Sankranti or Pongal, his vote percentage went up by 3% and it was equal to the AIADMK alliance, which was 41%. But after that, the AIADMK released its manifesto and then it recovered and it stays at 41% at this point of time. But the DMK's percentage is about 4 to 5% less than what the AIADMK BJP combined is holding at this point of time. I am not so sure that in the next 2 months the DMK can perform any miracles and improve their vote percentages, and Congress party is not going to be able to do anything to boost the vote percentages of the DMK. So at this point of time, as things stand, barring a miracle, it seems to me that the AIADMK BJP combination is likely to win the Tamil Nadu Assembly elections in April this year.
All right. So as we see this seat tussle actually between the DMK and the Congress, there are other parties also in the fray. AIDMK, Mr. Venkat Narayan has survey stats that they might just clinch the polls, but we are yet to see if TVK can also, pull an upset. But I thank all our guests for joining us on the broadcast, Kalyani Shankar, Venkat Narayan and Shekhar Vijayan. That's all, and we are wrapping up this bulletin now.
MDH कसूरी मेथी लाजवाब है, लाजवाब है।
स्वाद और सुगंध इसकी
लाजवाब है, लाजवाब लाजवाब है।
अगर MDH कसूरी मेथी नहीं डाला
तो खाली हाथ मलते रह जाओगे।
एक एक पत्ता हाथ से चुना, स्वाद और सुगंध जगाए कई गुना।
MDH का किचन किंग किचन में हो तो हम सब कुछ बना सकते हैं। बैंगन का भरता, आलू गोभी, भिंडी मसाला और भी बहुत कुछ।
MDH दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर। MDH गरम मसाला, असली मसालों से भरा हूँ मैं,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
जो भी पके ऐसा पके, जहाँ भी हो जो खींचा चलाए, मीठी दिल हो या पुलियो गिरे, वांगी भात हो या पोड़ी मसाला, रस पाउडर या सांभर मसाला, असली मसाले सच सच। MDH
आपके घर के खाने में रेस्टोरेंट जैसा स्वाद ले आए MDH का शाही पनीर मसाला। पनीर को क्या मस्त बना डाला।
This week on the roundtable, we are taking a look at the danger our country faces from the number of Chinese imports that have been literally dumped onto our country. Our economy is at great risk. What can the budget do about it?
The budget is like an iron dome. It protects our factories, it protects Indian capacities, and we need to defend them from the onslaught that the Chinese economy is doing on India. And it has reached huge proportions, so there is a need for an urgent step to be taken by the Union.
Very good afternoon.
कोई लोग
You're
शायद
watching
अंदाजा
Newsx and I'm Shivani Singh. The leader of the opposition, Rahul Gandhi, has hit out at the BJP over the India-US trade deal, stating that India has handed over its energy and data security to the US. Rahul said that the BJP has sold India to the US. Union Minister of Parliamentary Affairs Kiren Rijiju then hit back at the Congress party, stating that India's growth under Prime Minister Modi has not just heightened, but it has brought India to the 4th spot among global economies. Let me in fact go across to my colleague Anand Singh, who is joining us for more on this. So Anand, a war of words has broken out between the government and the opposition. We have the leader of the opposition stating that India has handed over the US its energy and data security, while on the other hand, the Union Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiren Rijiju actually came forward with a statement right after the LOP made his statement in the parliament that the growth under Prime Minister Narendra Modi has brought the Indian economy to the 4th spot among the global world.
Yes, Shivani, even as leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi clearly mentioned that targeted Prime Minister Narendra Modi, that how he predicted for the United States in regard to the US India trade deal, and he mentioned that no PM would do that, and the Prime Minister was so clearly. Rahul Gandhi also hinted that how India's energy and India's economy, they have been put in the hands of the United States. So clearly that has not gone down well with the BJP. And now, Union Parliamentary Affairs Minister.
Anand, I apologize for interrupting you, but we have Pradeep Bhandari, the BJP spokesperson, also joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Bhandari, we appreciate your time. Thank you for speaking to Newsx. So, when we are looking at these allegations that have been made by the leader of the opposition in the parliament that, the government has sold India's data security and its energy security to the US, what do you have to say on that?
Well, the nation is not forgotten when the nuclear deal was done by UPA government with the United States of America. The UPA government did a deal where the United States of America decided how we will run our nuclear program. That is what is called as selling India's sovereignty to a third party and a foreign country. Congress party is not able to digest the fact that under the budget for the first time the government has spoken about data sovereignty. So Rahul Gandhi, whose heart lies not in the country but abroad, who fights the Indian state, will oppose a budget which protects India's economic sovereignty, national sovereignty and data sovereignty.
Right, sir. And Mr. Bhandari, obviously we also had the Union Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju ji come and state that under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, India has seen the height of growth because we are now the 4th largest economy in the global world.
And in fact, this is being resonated by the World Bank, the IMF, and this is why every major economy wants to do the deal with India. Is it true or not that when the Congress was in power, the Congress believed that India will be the 3rd largest economy by 2043? And here under Prime Minister Narendra Modi, we are positioned to be the 3rd largest economy before 2029. This means that our economic fundamentals are solid and secure. The Congress, which always treated India as a weak country, today is rattled because the country is united and the economic fundamentals are solid, where Congress party is divide and rule politics flops and fails.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Bhandari, for joining us on the broadcast. Let me in fact go back to my colleague Anand Singh, who was with us at the start. Anand, when we are obviously looking at this entire war of words that has erupted between the Congress and the BJP, or the opposition and the government, a lot of allegations going back and forth.
Yeah, look, the way in which Rahul Gandhi clearly mentioned that how India has been killed and India's interests have been killed by the Prime Minister in regards to US-India trade deal. So clearly, he also mentioned about the skin file, and he then took the name of Union week as well as of two businessmen, Kaushik Adani and Anil Ambani. So clearly, this has not gone down well with the BJP as the Union Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju. After Lok Sabha leader of opposition speech, he clearly spoke to media and he said that while giving a speech on the budget, Rahul Gandhi made allegations without any argument, without any evidence and without giving any notice. So clearly his entire speech, whatever wrong things he has said, everything will be removed, and whatever unparliamentary words he has used should be removed, especially whatever lies he has said, wrong things, allegations he has made, all of them should be removed. And he further mentioned that how he reminded Rahul Gandhi that no one can sell this country, no one can buy it. Then Rahul Gandhi said that someone has sold India and someone has bought India. No one can ever think of buying or selling India. This is what Kiran Rijiju has said while reacting to Rahul Gandhi's mention of words in the Lok Sabha when he was speaking on union budget. So clearly, he also, Kiran Rijiju also mentioned that how they are going to file a privilege motion against Rahul Gandhi for misleading the House and also making baseless statements, as there are very clear-cut rules and procedures in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and where a member intends to make serious charges against another member.
All right. Thank you so much, Anand, for joining us on the broadcast with that. Now we're shifting focus to some other news coming in. 2 days after 3 people were found dead inside a parked car on the Piragari flyover in Delhi, a Baba, who has been now identified as Kamaruddin, has been arrested in the case. During questioning, the accused admitted to preparing laddus mixed with poison, which he made the victims consume along with liquor and cold drinks while travelling with them. Investigators say he targeted people by promising dhan varsha or surprise money through tantric rituals, gained their trust and then poisoned them to steal cash and valuables. The bodies of a 76-year-old man, a 47-year-old property dealer and a 40-year-old woman were discovered inside a white Tata Tigor on Sunday. Police recovered personal belongings, cash and other items from the vehicle as well. Let me in fact go across to my colleague Javed Hussain for more on this. Javed, ये केस में एक अरेस्ट हुआ है एक बाबा का जिसका नाम अभी आइडेंटिफाई हुआ है कमरुद्दीन, उसका ये वो टारगेट करता था लोगों को उनके कैश और वैल्यूबल्स लेने के लिए।
दिल्ली पुलिस की आउटर डिस्ट्रिक्ट ने जो है एक शख्स बाबा और कमरुद्दीन को गिरफ्तार किया है। बताया गया है कि ये जिस दिन 8 फरवरी की जो घटना है जहां पे 3 लाश मिली थी दिल्ली के पीरागढ़ी इलाके में फ्लाईओवर के पास, उस कार में रणधीर सिंह उनके साथ शिव नरेश और एक महिला लक्ष्मी जिंदा नाम बताया गया जो कि दिल्ली के जहांगीरपुर इलाके की रहने वाली थी। और शिव नरेश और रणधीर ये दोनों जो है आपको दिल्ली के रनौला इलाके के रहने वाले थे। इन लोगों जो बॉडी मिली थी कार में, उसके बाद पुलिस इस पूरे मामले की इन्वेस्टिगेशन में ज्वाइन लगती है और टेक्निकली एविडेंस के बेस पर और दिल्ली पुलिस को कुछ सीसीटीवी उस कार के मूवमेंट को जब रिवर्स मूवमेंट स्टार्ट की जाती है तो कुछ सीसीटीवी फुटेज मिलते हैं, उस गाड़ी का मूवमेंट दिखता है। उस गाड़ी में ये पता चलता है कि गाड़ी एक शख्स जो है रणधीर सिंह के साथ आगे के सीट पर वो बैठा हुआ था, उसके बाद वो वहां से जो है फरार हो गया था। लेकिन उसमें जो 3 लोग थे वो उनकी जो है वो मौत हो चुकी थी। अब ये आत्महत्या था या हत्या, इसको लेकर दिल्ली पुलिस इस पूरे मामले की जांच में जुट जाती है। उसके बाद पता चलता है पोस्टमार्टम रिपोर्ट से कि इन्हें कुछ नशीली चीज खिलाई गई है। बाद में जो है वो विस्तार रिपोर्ट के लिए भी हालांकि दिल्ली पुलिस ने जो है इस पूरे केस को इस इन्वेस्टिगेशन के लिए विस्तार रिपोर्ट की जांच के लिए भेजा था, लेकिन इनिशियली पता चलता है कि किसी नशीले चीज को दिया गया है और परिवार से और कुछ लोगों से पता चलता है कि एक बाबा
said before the commencement of this budget session that this is the first budget of the second quarter of 21st century, and truly it has got many of those features in it. That is why you're looking at some of the long-term investments that we are making today which will have bearing in the long term, whether you're talking of the biopharma Shakti, the very thing that where we are highlighting how biosimilars will be an answer to many of those life-threatening diseases. And that takes a long time to evolve. You invest today, biosimilar arrives after several years. But India should have a lead in that, and therefore even in this budget we have provided for research in biopharma and making sure that we will be leaders in biologics and biosimilars. The same is the spirit which guided us when we said we need to have India's Semiconductor Mission 2.0, the second edition of it. And in that, I like to highlight that I've spent a brief mention of investing in cutting-edge areas like carbon capture. Because carbon capture is a very important means through which our 2070 net zero goal can be achieved. We have mentioned about carbon capture also. The strategy, the technology and the ways to do it are all evolving, but even as it is evolving, we have invested in it so that we can be a leader in that. By doing these, which are somewhat leading us towards a medium and a long term, we are also continuing our push in building infrastructure. Now it's not just roads, it's not just national highways, it's also looking at waterways so that the cost of logistics in this country can come down, and states which are very much in the hinterland, not connected to any seaport, will have the advantage of moving goods faster at a lesser cost. So we very clearly created freight corridors as part of the very exclusive land on the surface transport, but equally spending resources and planning for infrastructure through waterways, national waterways. Even as we are doing this, Madam Deputy Speaker, emphasis on labor-intensive sectors and giving them emphasis so that not just they can have more resources to improve, but even looking at legacy industries which are waiting for rejuvenation have been funded. I'll take the example of building champions out of MSMEs, particularly the medium-sized units, which do not want to grow out of the MSME category, even though they have the capacity, even though they have every strength. But even in the last budget, we expanded the definition of MSME so that even if they go beyond a certain level in their turnover, they'll still be defined as MSME. They don't lose out on their benefits. But this budget, we've taken that a bit further and very clearly announced ways in which such medium-sized industries which have potential to grow and export and also become champions in their sectors can be given further help, and I've announced several steps towards equity help, professional help, and also making sure that they will have liquidity access. And in the process of 3 ways in which we want to reach them, we are giving them the support which, even if they grow out of the turnover limit which defines them as an MSME, they will be leaders in their sectors so that they can participate in India's growth. Is this only for industries? And is it not going to concentrate, is this budget not going to concentrate on building manpower so that our youth can aspire in a particular sphere of activity to go with skills in his hand or her hand and achieve jobs or become entrepreneurs themselves? In this, I would like to highlight 2 major announcements that we've made, in which I have not named any states. In fact, I have openly said, for creating this big facility, states can aspire, any state can aspire, going through the PM Gati Shakti filters. If you think you have a proposition in your hand, any state can ask for one of the 5 that I've announced in terms of the allied and health service, where we want to set up medical hubs. States can aspire to be a part of it, wherein all the aspects of medical education and hospitals for treatment of patients can all be focused in one area, where nurses or any other 10 different allied health services will have their institutions through which people can learn, get themselves skilled, find jobs there itself, and that will become a medical tourism hub. So any state can qualify, and I'm sure states which have traditional strength can also be coming in for it, and this includes Ayush as well. So this is a major forward-looking proposition wherein immediately, because of the medical tourism advantage that India has, this will become a center of multi-purpose, multi-speciality allied health service center through which we can promote medical health, medical tourism. So that was one of the major announcements. Similarly, we have said, instead of waiting to qualify and finishing your education and coming out and seeking where should they go for acquiring skills,